Making homespun labels with vintage textiles is easy enough, but we're going to show you a few tricks using furniture wax to make these labels more durable and a few tricks to make them more colorful too. Click the sun logo at the end of this video to subscribe. Vintage cotton, muslin, and silk are often sheer enough to make delicate labels, and those that are embroidered will give an embossed look to labels for our kitchen, pantry, and office. To start, we'll make a temporary work surface that is waterproof by taping freezer paper to a board with the waxy side up. You could also work on plastic. Then we'll make patterns for our labels that will fit our containers. We'll use a drawing program on our computer, but you could use other methods for making patterns. Whichever way you make your patterns, be sure to test them out on your containers to make sure of a good fit, because patterns will be a big help if you're making a lot of labels for parties or gifts or for yourself, and you can repeat the steps more easily with a pattern. They'll also help you with the color enhancing tricks we'll show you in this video. We're going to cut our textiles into smaller pieces, larger than the labels we'll be making, but small enough for easy handling. Then we'll clean both our work surface and brush away any lint on the textile with a washcloth. This wax is not hard to find, it's water-based and non-toxic, and it will make the labels a little more waterproof, but best of all, it will keep the fabric from fraying when we cut out our labels. We painted this vintage hanky with off-white chalk paint, working around the embroidery. This will make the fabric a little more like paper when dry. Then we'll give it one coat of wax. You can use a little water to thin the wax if you need to. We'll let all of these pieces dry thoroughly. They'll feel a little waxy when dry but not wet. Now you can use your patterns to transfer an outline onto the fabric with a pencil. Before we cut these out, we're going to embellish these a little. We're going to tint our fabric in places with artist chalk to give them some depth and patina. If you'd like to try this, you'll only need a little bit of chalk for this effect. Use a cotton swab or use the tip of the chalk and just put it a little bit around the edges or wherever you want a little hint of color or patina. We're using light shades of pink and yellow gold and concentrating our colors mostly around the edges of our labels. Once you have the color applied, use a baby wipe or a damp cloth to blend the chalk into the fabric. What this is going to do is antique the look of your fabric. Practice first before you do this on your textiles, then use a rainbow of colors for subtle effects. We tested lots of different ways to do our lettering, and we like the ballpoint pen the best. We also went over those pen lines with white chalk or with watercolor pencils to make the handwriting look a little more old. The trick is to do your testing on scrap fabric, and also you can make patterns on your computer or with other modern methods and trace the letters with faint pencil before you begin. Here's an example of how we use chalks to antique our ballpoint lettering. We're just going over it with the side of a piece of white chalk. And now we're going to use blue chalk to add a hint of color around the base of the label. You can see where the pencil line shows us where to make our marks. With our patina work completed, we'll lock in all our artwork with Mod Podge clear acrylic sealer in a matte finish and let our pieces dry. And when they're dry, we'll cut out our labels. Then, using rubber cement, we'll attach them to our containers. Rubber cement is an old-fashioned product, but it will allow you to remove these labels easily if you ever need to. In the meantime, rubber cement will hold fast. Cement your labels onto your containers, or if the fabric is too sheer and it shows the glue too much, cement these onto the paper patterns, then glue that to the container. Well, thanks to the Mod Podge sealer, you can now clean these labels gently with a damp cloth and admire them for years to come. Click the sun logo to subscribe.